Hair is peak crazy today. Peak chaos today. Not enough coffee today. And I need to go get my iPad. So, we're starting out with a bang. Like, listen, we keep it together around here, okay? Hey guys, we are back with another one, and it is our favorite video of every month to film today. I'm so excited. I have to tell you guys, this April TBR and these April spins, I am like beyond amped to do today because I am in whatever the opposite of a reading slump is. That is what I'm in. All I want to do is read. The last couple of days, I've finished almost 4 books in 5 days. Like, all I want to do is sit there and flip pages. That's it. That's all I want to do. I have no use for anything else. Actually, the kids didn't have school today, and we had like a full day of baseball, and my 6 and 3-year-old niece and nephew were here hanging out for the day because they didn't have school. And all I was thinking about while we were running around was, I really would love to go home and crack open a book. Like, have you guys ever gotten that? Like, what's the opposite of a slump? Like a reading tear? That's what I'm on. So the fact that I get to spin and put together a pile of books for the next month is like exactly what's keeping me going today. It's exciting me. I am so excited to do this. I cannot wait to see what we get. And I hope that our stack for April is half as good as our stack for March because it was such a good pile of books. So let's talk about some stuff first. We do start out this month with one book already on our TBR, and that is Happily Never After by Miss Lynn Painter. This is the genre and then subsequently the book that the Homie and Homie Book Club, which is always linked down below in the description. It's completely free. It's literally just a bunch of us that want to read books and talk about them and like do it on a more like one-on-one, like personal level. It's down on Fable, linked below, but this is what our book club selected for our April read. In March, we read Eragon, and it was so much fun. Like, besides for the fact that Eragon was a great book, reading it together and like finishing the chapter and then going to our discussion every single week was like, it just elevated it to like a completely new experience for me. And I really feel as though part of why I loved the book so much was because of how fantastic our 47 book club members are. That's crazy that there's 47 of us just like chatting about a book every month. So we put up one poll about 2 weeks ago and decided to do a romance book. And then I picked a couple of romance books, and this is the book that won. So we are going to be reading Happily Never After over in Homie and Homely Book Club. Therefore, the stack starts off with one book already on it. I also did not go over my 10 books, so I am only doing the 10 basic spins this month. However, as per our new rule from last month, we have, what is it? Let me look. It's a couple of extra spin wheels. I was going to say 5, but now I'm second guessing myself. I don't think it's that many. Let's see. We have the book prompt wheel, the 24 and 24 wheel, the Kindle spin wheel, the series spin wheel, the genre spin wheel, and the author first and last wheel. So there's actually 6. Here I am thinking it wasn't 5 because it was 6. So we have 6 extra wheels, and I love spinning them so much, but what we were finding is that on certain months, like some of them would never come up and we would never get to spin them. So what I decided to do is make sure that every single month we spin each of those 6 wheels at least one time. Meaning, if they come up in the course of our 10 spins, great. But then at the end, whichever extra wild wheels we didn't spin, we're going to do one spin on each. And those aren't going to count towards like my TBR. Those are just like extra books, kind of giving me a little bit of flexibility to kind of mood read off of my list a little bit, if you will. So we are going to start out with our 10 spins, and then at the end when we're doing our wild spin picks, we are going to go ahead and do our wild spins. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up our handy dandy wheel. Got to screen record it. Here she is, and this is exactly what she looked like last month, should be at least. So what we are going to do is we are going to hit the randomize button. So say goodbye to the way the wheel looks now. See you, wheel. And let's say hello to April's new wheel in 3, 2, 1. There you go. There's what she looks like now. She's looking pretty fancy. She's looking pretty fancy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do spin 1. Starting out strong with a genre spin. How amazing is that? Okay, let's pull up our genre spin wheel. Here she comes. All right, so on our genre spin, we have our genres, which is literary fiction, mystery, thriller, romance, fantasy. Literary fiction, nonfiction, mystery, thriller, romance, and fantasy. There you go, 5 genres. And we spin, and we have to pick something from that genre. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Romance. Okay, romance for spin number 1. So as per all of our other months, we always do our wild picks at the end. So we're going to go straight into spin 2 on our wheel. You ready? 3, 2, 1. I didn't know if that one was going to be 9 or 11. Okay, shelf 11. I think that's in the other room. It is. Let's go over there and look at what shelf 11 has. Okay, here we are at shelf 11. So as you can see, it does have a couple of random fantasies on it, but it also has my Witch Collector series, my Iron King series. There is Scythe on there. Let's see. Besides for that, it's pretty random. So there are 23 books on this shelf. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 23.
The answer is 20.
20. Okay, let's see what that is. 23, 22, 21, 20. Okay, okay. Number 20 is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. I believe this is a Native American tale. I think this takes place on an American Indian reservation, I believe. So we'll read the summary at the end, but this is really interesting because I've heard really good things about this. And it says here that it won, what prize is this? The Michael Prince Award from the American Library Association. That's crazy. Okay, we're already here, so we might as well go ahead and do spin number 3 right from where we are. So without further ado, 1, 2, 3. $21. That is a romance shelf, I believe. We're going to find out because it's in the other room. Okay, so shelf number 21, I always forget, is that kind of like really cool, interesting shelf because about 3/4 of it are romance and 1/4 of it is our overflow fantasy. So this shelf has 53 books on it. Let's see what we have in store. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 53.
It's 53.
53! Well, that's easy. All right, let's grab it. Oh, I don't know about this one. Oh, no. Okay, it's My Magnolia Summer by Victoria Benton Frank. And it's not that I'm not excited for this book, because I actually am excited for this book. It's just that I wouldn't have picked this as an April read. I would have picked this as a summer read, hence My Magnolia Summer. But I have heard it's decent, so it's going on the TBR. Like I always say, one of the things I love about this game is that it always keeps me on my toes. Like I never know what it's going to give me. So spin number 4. Let's see. Oh, that's easy. Shelf number 22, because it's right here. Let me just drop the camera a little bit. So far, we are pretty romance heavy. Huh, okay, well, shelf number 22 is a romance shelf. It does have all of my Lucy Score, Sophie Lark, Lynn Painter, Elin Hildebrand, my Emily Henry. So there's a good chance that we'll be getting in a series or at least picking one of those like series type of authors. So there are 54 books on this shelf. Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 54.
A random number between 1 and 54 is 28.
28. All right, let's see what that is. It's going to be about halfway through, so I'm thinking it's either Lucy Score or Emily Henry. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's get this out here. Ugh. I'm actually excited for this one. Ugh. Why do I feel like... Yeah, okay. We're good. Okay, so number 28 is Finally Mine by Lucy Score. I think this is the second. Wait a minute. We have to look this up. What book is this? Where is my... Hold on. Hold, please. Hold, please. I know that... I believe Pretend Your Mind's the first one. But is this the second one? We're looking this up right now. I believe Pretend Your Mind is the first. Pretend Your Mind is the first. I just feel like finally is weird for a second. Yeah, okay, it is. Okay, I shouldn't second guess myself like that. So this is the second in the Benevolence series, I think. Benevolence is the town they go to live in. I did read the first one and I really, really liked it. If I remember correctly, he was like a military guy and kind of the classic Lucy Score. Like she finds herself in a pickle and has to stay for a few days. So I'm excited about this and I'm really excited to keep moving on with this series. So Finally Mine by Lucy Score. Okay, so far I gotta be honest. Little nervous about this stack. It's not that these aren't books that I want to read, because I would eventually. I just don't think that these are books that I really saw myself like prioritizing in April. So we'll see. You know what's going to happen because I'm saying this? Because I'm saying that and I'm like less than enthusiastic about it, every single book that I read is going to be like a 5-star new favorite. I'm calling it right now. So let's screen record for spin number 5. 3, 2, 1. A prompt spin! So here's our prompt wheel. We are going to go ahead and hit the randomize button so it switches up the order. So here we go. All right. And 3, 2, 1. So I'm really excited about this because you guys sent in a ton of prompts for this month. So let's see what we got. A gifted book. A gifted book. Okay, so that means that I have to choose a book that someone gifted to me. I'm going to be honest, this is a little bit trickier than it seems because I am honestly not gifted too many books. Like my family and my husband, they never can keep track of what books I already have. So for the most part, they just give me gift cards because they have no clue what I've purchased for myself and put on my shelves. And they have no idea like the new releases because I'm kind of like the only diligent reader. So for the most part, they just gift me gift cards. But I do have a few options, so we're going to go with that. We're going to pick that at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our TBR wheel. And this is spin number, is it 6? I think it's spin number 6. So here we go. Another genre spin. Oh my God, I'm loving that all of the random wheels are coming up this month. So, okay, genre spin. Here we go. Did we randomize the last time? I don't think we did. Let's do it now anyways. So here we go. Randomize. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yes. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous about how many romances are ending up. So a fantasy. Okay. We can do that. We can do that. All right. Back for spin number 7. Ready? Here we go. Is that 10 or 14? 14. 14's in the other room, so let's move the camera. So excited for this shelf because shelf number 14 is one of our newer shelves. I just assembled these. It was our first time seeing them last month, and this has kind of become where a lot of my overflow fantasy has gotten to. So we have our Priory of the Orange Tree series, we have Legend Born and Bloodmarked, we have the rest of the Cruel Prince series, which, if I'm being honest with you, if you've watched my channel before, you know Not the biggest fan. So I'm kind of not excited about continuing those. I hope we don't get that. Jade City, a little bit of Daughter of the Pirate King, and we have a little bit Scarlet St. Clair. So there are 21 books on this shelf. Hey, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 21.
It's 6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, this is a TBR. Oh, wait. Wait. 1, 2. No, I lied. I forgot that I had put 2 books up here. So if we're counting the way I always do, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Oh, interesting. Oh, wow. This book actually is really tiny writing. And it's 500 pages. Okay, it's going on the TBR. Legendborn. Am I super excited for that one? I think I am. I've heard like some mixed reviews about it, but overall, I think people pretty much like it. If you have read Legendborn, let me know what you think. So, all right, we are going to our next spin. 1, 2, 3. What's that? 24. That is in the next room. Okay, this month really wants me to get into some romances. So we have my Sarah Adams, all my Lauren Ashers, my Elsie Silver, the Chestnut Spring series, all of my Magnolia Parks and Never by Jessa Hastings. We have Allie Hazelwood and Colleen Hoover. There are 34 books on this shelf. Ooh, geez Louise. There we go. Hey, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 34.
A random number between 1 and 34 is 12.
12. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay, I found this on the web for 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Suri. Okay, I am so excited about this because that is Heartless by Elsie Silver, and this was on my TBR last month and I didn't get to it, and I honestly was kicking myself. I was like, I'm filming this like a day or two before the end of the month, and I was like, I bet I could squeeze it in, and then I was like, no, let's not rush it, let's just put it back on the shelves. So the fact that this has made its way back onto our TBR for the second time in 2 months, this might be the first book I'm reading this month, guys, honestly. Also, sorry if you hear my son up there playing his silly kitty game with his friends. I think I've said this in a video before, but he has the, what are those things called? The Oculus. And he forgets that when he has those on and he's playing with his friends, like, he could just speak at a normal volume. He forgets and he, like, screams into them because he's having so much fun with his friends. And he's ridiculously loud. And I've been listening to his nonsense going on upstairs, like, laughing hysterically because he sounds crazy. But if you guys hear him, that's what's going on upstairs. It's just some good old-fashioned virtual reality. I don't know. I don't get it. Yeah. And it's bro every 2 seconds, which makes me laugh. So, all right. Ready for the next spin? 1, 2, 3. Another prompt spin. You guys, I feel like I need to explain part of the reason why I'm so excited about this. When I tell you that there are over 500 prompts on this wheel that I meticulously curated. And when I say curated, I mean went through hundreds of sites, picked through exactly what I wanted, but then not only that, but like came up with my own, adjusted other prompts to fit my reading, but then went on to Instagram and told all of you to spam my account with the most unique or like prompts that you hadn't seen other places that you wanted me to put on my wheel. It is the most comprehensive, insane prompt wheel, and the fact that I get to keep using it is so fun because I legit never know what's gonna pop up, and it is so fun. All right. Here is the insanity of the prompt wheel, so let's see what it has in store for us. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. A Regency romance. It's another romance, though. Oh God. Guys, we have a lot of romance going on. But it's so funny that it picked this one because I have been wanting to get into Regency ever since A Fragile Enchantment came. I was like, oh, this looks really good. And I have so much Regency romance on my shelves, so I know that I could pick something great for this one. We're going to have some options, so okay. All right, moving on. Let's wait the 3 seconds for screen recording, and we are going to do our next spin. So 3, 2, 1. What do we need still? Genre, Kindle. No, genre we got. 24 and 24, Kindle. Shelf 4. That is a mystery thriller shelf at our first crazy angle of the video. So get ready for the song. If you guys are real ones, you know it. So sing along in 3, 2, 1. Crazy angle time. It's crazy angle time. Do, do, do. There it is. Okay, so shelf number 4 is a mystery thriller shelf, and it's at a crazy angle. And there's no way for me to avoid that because this right here is my good old-fashioned guest bed. So there's nothing I can really do about it, but shelf number 4 does have 24 books on it. Hey, Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 24.
A random number between 1 and 24 is 21.
Okay, 21. Oh, at least, I'm like, at this point, I'm like, hey, it's, a little bit of variation from a romance. So 24, 23, 22, 21. Okay, 21 is Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is number 4 in the Naturals series. So we are going to start with book number 1, which is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a cute little YA mystery thriller, and I've heard some people are literally obsessed with it. I am so excited. I really did need something to break up the romance, so really excited about this one. Guys, that was spin number 10, and I didn't even realize it, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, and then we had the 2 genre spins, so that's 8. Then we had the 2 prompt spins, so that's 10. Okay. But we still have, if we've only done genre and prompt, we should have 4 extra spins on our wild wheels. So, genre and prompt we don't have to worry about, but we do have 24 and 24, which are the 24 books I wanted to prioritize in the year of 2024. Our Kindle spin, which is all the books on my Kindle, because I always want to knock off at least one. Then our series spin, which is to continue a book in a series I'm in. And then our author first and last name. So technically that's 7. Because there's author first and then there's author last. So technically we have 5 extra spins. Okay, where should we start? Let's start on our 24 and 24. I think that's a good place to start. So here's our 24 and 24 list. I did go ahead and remove Aragon because I knocked that one off last month. So let's see which book we're going to continue with. 1, 2, 3. Yes. House of Beating Wings. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to go grab this book. Okay, guys, I happen to have this book on my Kindle, but I think it's Kindle Unlimited too. Pretty sure it's Kindle Unlimited, but I also have, I think this is the Bookish Box edition, I'm pretty sure. The Bookish Box edition of The House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein. This edition is beyond beautiful. And I have been wanting to get into the series. I actually think this might have been on a TBR before and I didn't get to it. So I cannot wait to read the synopsis to you guys at the end of this video. Wait until you hear about it because it sounds so good. Okay, so there's our 24 and 24 spin. Let's go into our Kindle spin next. So let's go ahead and screen record. This wheel is beyond insane. It's so crazy how many books I have on my Kindle. Here it is. And like the amount of stuff that I have on my Kindle, you never know what I'm going to get. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Misfit. I don't even know what that is. That's not Misfit. Is that part of the Rogue series by, who is it? Not Elle Kennedy. Hold please. Let's figure this out. I was right. Here it is. It is. It's part of Elle Kennedy's Prep series. It's the first book. There's Misfit and Rogue. I knew it was this one. I am so excited about this because I've talked about this in another video. I did go to a boarding school, aka like a prep school. So any book that's set in a prep school setting, for some reason, it just like speaks to me. It's usually not realistic at all, guys. It's literally not that deep, but I love a prep school setting. So Misfit by Elle Kennedy. I think this is Kindle Unlimited. It is. It is Kindle Unlimited. I'm pretty sure this, I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure I have this on my Kindle, but it is Kindle Unlimited as well. So there's our Kindle spin. What should we do next? Let's do our series spin and save our author first and last for last. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Come on, fantasy. Come on, fantasy. Catching Fire. Okay. I'm not mad about it. Fantasy, a little bit of a thriller fantasy, YA. This is the second book in the Hunger Games series, and I loved Hunger Games. So throwing Catching Fire up on our TBR. Okay, and now to spin our author first and last wheel twice. Let's do author last name first. So this next letter that comes up is going to be for our last name. And once again, we forgot to randomize, didn't we? All right, let's hit the random button. There it is. And now 3, 2, 1 for our last name. I thought it was going to be Q for a minute. D. Okay, author with the last name of D. We can do that. All right, and now first name. M. Okay, author. One book has to have an author with the last name of D, starts with D, and another book has to have an author with the first name that starts with M. We have a little bit of digging in my bookshelves to do.
I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you. You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. Everything I needed. Never thought I'd meet someone like you. You know you are the reason. The reason why I feel like I can fly. Thinking about you day and night. I love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile.
First and foremost, let's go over what books that we picked from our spin wheel before we start talking about our wilds. So, this was not picked by our wheel, but let's talk about the Homie and Homely Book Club's romance pick this month. This is Happily Ever After by Lynn Painter. This is about a girl who wants to call off her wedding, but I believe she's getting married to like her boss's son, so she finds it hard to do so without causing like a lot of scandal. So she hires this man who is a professional wedding objector, I believe, and then I think she becomes so intrigued by his business of like literally being hired to object at weddings that she gets involved in the business, and then I'm assuming they fall for each other. I don't know, but it sounds really, really cute, and I'm excited to jump into it. It's really short, too. I think it's only like 240 pages, and Lynn Painter's writing goes so fast. Also, like I said before, if you want to join along in reading Happily Never After with us this month, please feel free to go down into my description below and click on the link for the Fable Book Club. Like I said, it's totally free. We do it just for fun. We just kind of do a little like interaction. It breaks down chapters to read weekly for you, and it's so much fun to discuss it with everybody. So please click on it, download the app, join the book club. I would love for you to join us. Next, we got The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know this is an award winner, and it says, keep the secret, live the lie, earn your truth. It says, when tragedy strikes in your own home, when death and deception are around every corner, how far are you willing to go to fix what's broken? And actually, there's not a summary in here, but I'm going to do a horrible job summarizing this, but I think I remember something about a girl who lives on a reservation here in the US gets involved. I believe it has something to do with the sale of a deadly drug on the reservation, and I think she gets involved in the crime investigation. I'm pretty sure. I could be doing a horrible job, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post the synopsis from Amazon here. You could feel free to pause this video and read it. But I've actually heard really wonderful things about this book, and I purposely don't want to know too much about it because I do think there's a little bit of like a crime element, and I don't want to be spoiled. So if you do want to read it, go ahead, pause it, and read it and find out. But I'm really excited for it. Okay, well, that was exhausting. But we have all of our options, and let's talk about them. So the first thing I want to talk about is our options for Regency romance, and I want to give you guys a heads up. I know what a Regency romance is. Technically, a Regency romance is supposed to be a romance set in the Regency era, which is what, 1800 to like 1850, sometime in the 1800s, right? And obviously it's supposed to be like British Regency. However, that is very specific, so we're going to go a little bit loose with some of these just to give us some options. So let's talk about the ones I have in physical format first. This is the one that I already mentioned when we pulled this category. We do have A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. This briefly, I don't really know much. You know I want to go in blind, but let me scoot closer. This is a book about a dressmaker. I believe it's England. I believe she's a dressmaker, but she is able to sew magic into the dresses she makes, and I believe she is commissioned to make the royal wedding gown, and I'm assuming she meets the groom and the romance goes from there. But I want to show you what it says on the back. It says, "Praise for a Fragile Enchantment weaves together the passion of a Regency romance." Can you see that? Right there. By Axie O, with the magic, whimsy, and heart of a Ghibli film. Studio Ghibli film. So that is a possibility. Okay, this is the one that's a little, give me a little bit of room for some creativity here, guys. I also grabbed American Queen by Sierra Simone. I don't know much about this. I think it's spicy. It says, "I serve at the pleasure of the president." I think it says it starts with a stolen kiss under an English sky, and it ends with a walk down the aisle. It starts with the president sending his best friend to woo me on his behalf, and it ends with my heart split in two. It starts with buried secrets and dangerous desires and ends with the three of us bound together with a hateful love sharper than any barbed wire. My name is Greer Galloway, and I serve at the pleasure of the President of the United States. This is the story of the American Queen. So obviously, I wouldn't go ahead and call this Regency romance because it's a little bit more modern, but it is like British American romance, right? We're going to go with it. It says Queen, guys. It counts. Next, let's talk about the books that I have on my Kindle that I think might count as Regency romance. So the first one is called Ne'er-Do Well by Alexandra Vasti, and it does say, in this steamy Regency romp, Lady Selina is determined to find the Duke of Stanhope the perfect wife. The only problem is she's starting to think that might be her. So there you go. We could do this one. I also have a book called Earl's Trip, and at first I wasn't sure this would count, but listen to this description. It said, Ted Lasso meets Bridgerton for a 19th century spin on The Hangover. It says it's about 3 Regency-era earls on their annual trip, ride-or-die buddies offering one another unconditional support in everything from lady problems to family woes. And I was kind of like, okay, we're getting the Regency element, but are we getting the romance element? So I read further, and listen, it says, even an earl needs his ride or dies, and Archibald Fielding Burton, the Earl of Harcourt, counts himself lucky to have 2. The annual trip that Archie takes with his BFFs Simon and Effie holds a sacred spot in their calendars. This year, Archie is especially eager to get away until an urgent letter arrives from an old family friend begging him to help prevent a ruinous scandal. Suddenly, the trip has become Earls plus Girls, as Archie's childhood pals Clementine and Olive Morgan are rescued en route to Gretna Green. This complicates matters. The fully grown Clementine, while as frank and refreshing as she remembers, is also different to the wild, windswept girl he knew. This Clem is complex and surprising and adamantly opposed to marriage, which for reasons Archie dare not examine too closely, he finds increasingly vexing. Then Clem makes him an indecent and quite delightful proposal, asking him to show her the pleasures of the marriage bed before she settles into spinsterhood. And what kind of gentleman would he be to refuse a lady? So there you go, guys. That sounds like a Regency romance to me. Oh, and then when I flipped to like the blurb page, I'll go ahead and post that here as well. It says, one of the best historical romances I've read in years, Julia Quinn. Then Martha Waters says, oh, that's funny. She's actually the author of the next book I'm going to talk about. Okay, so Martha Waters, author of To Have and to Hoax, which is funny. She said, Earl's Trip is a romantically funny, entirely charming romp. It's a effervescent historical rom-com. Appeals to Bridgerton fans. That's pretty Regency romance to me. Then, funny enough, the next book I had keyed up was To Have and to Hoax by Martha Waters. It's from the Regency Vows series. It's book 1. And it says, named a best romance of April by Goodreads. It's a laugh out loud Regency romp. If you loved Bridgerton. Okay? It says, 5 years ago, Lady Violet Grey and Lord James Audley met, fell in love, and got married. 4 years ago, they had a fight to end all fights and have barely spoken since. Their once passionate love match has been reduced to one of cold, detached politeness. But when Violet receives a letter that James has been thrown from his horse and rendered unconscious at their country estate, she races to be by his side, only to discover him alive and well at a tavern and completely unaware of her concern. So, that could be a possibility. And then, let's see. I also have Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. This is the first book in A League of Extraordinary Women, I think it's called. And it says, a stunning debut for author Evie Dunmore. It says, a fiercely independent vicar's daughter takes on a powerful duke in a fiery love story that threatens to upend the British social order. It's England, 1879. So this is definitely fitting all of the boxes for Regency romance. 1800s England romance. Okay? And then I think this is my last one. Yeah. So last but not least, I also have An Improbable Season by Rosalind Eves. It says, for fans of Bridgerton, a Regency romance about 3 young women, their big dreams, and a London season gone awry. It says, when Talia, Calliope, and Sherry set off to Regency London for their first season, they each have clear goals, few of which include matrimony. Talia means to make her mark among the intelligentsia and publish her poetry. Charisse hopes to earn her place among the scientific elite, and Calliope aims to take the fashionable ton by storm. But this season, it doesn't take long for things to fall apart. Callie finds herself embroiled in scandal and reliant upon an arranged marriage to redeem her reputation. Talia's dreams of publication are threatened by her attraction to a charming rake, and Charisse finds herself an unexpected social hit and the source of a family scandal that her heart might not survive. Can this roller coaster season find its happily ever ending? It's a voice swoony Regency drama about falling in love with another person, with new opportunities, and with yourself. Okay, so as we always do when I have a bunch of options and we're choosing a book, we're going to do this by process of elimination. So, of these books, which do I think I'm not going to want to choose? And right off the bat, not because I don't want to read it, but because I think of all our options, this is kind of the one that's cheating the most and not really following the prompt. I'm going to eliminate American Queen. I do want to read this, but I don't think this really checks all the boxes for Regency romance, and we're not desperate for it. We have enough that do. So I think this is just going to have to wait for another TBR. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate that. So then, I honestly think I'm going to eliminate the Earl's Trip as well. This one to me just seems not quite enough like romance, marriage, like the ton, Bridgerton. It just seems kind of like a spicy trip with a bunch of guys and there might be like a romance thrown in. I think I'm going to throw out An Improbable Season. That's not like grabbing me right now. The story of the 3 sisters, they each have like different like motivations. So we have A Fragile Enchantment, Ne'er-Duke Well, Tavern Hoax, Bringing Down the Duke. I really want to read A Fragile Enchantment, and that's like a newer release. I am going to eliminate Ne'er-Duke Well. That's just not like one of my top priorities. I'm also going to eliminate To Have and To Hoax. This is like a second chance romance. So I am choosing between Bringing Down the Duke, which honestly, I think this is the one that fits the prompt the best because it is England 1879 and it is definitely a romance. Or A Fragile Enchantment. What would you do? This is YA. How much YA do we have on here? We have The Naturals. I believe Legendborn was technically YA fantasy. Not too much YA. Oh, goodness. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put A Fragile Enchantment on our TBR for our Regency romance prompt. So on our second prompt spin, we got a book that has been gifted to me, and I automatically knew which one I was going to go for, not only because I desperately want to read this story and because it's a fantasy, so it adds a little bit of diversity to our reading genres this month since we're so romance heavy, but also it's gorgeous, and I'm so grateful that I was gifted this book for Christmas from my fabulous Auntie Martha. So thank you, Aunt Martha. I am going to go ahead and throw up Daughter of the Pirate King onto our TBR. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and she actually gifted me the set. So it's Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen, and when you put them together, look at those spines. I wanted these special editions so badly, and I wasn't a member of Fairy Loot, and I wasn't really collecting special editions when these released, so I missed the boat on them, and she went out and she found them on Mercari for me and bought them for me for Christmas, and I am so grateful. So I'm definitely wanting to read Daughter of the Pirate King, and it says, 17-year-old Alosa, daughter of the feared Pirate King, is sent on a mission to retrieve an ancient hidden map, the key to a legendary treasure trove. The catch? She must conceal her considerable combat skills and allow herself to be captured by her enemies, giving her the perfect opportunity to search their ship. More than a match for the ruthless pirate crew, Alosa has only one thing standing between her and the map, her captor, the unexpectedly clever and unfairly attractive first mate Raiden. But luckily, Alosa has a few tricks up her sleeve, and no lone pirate can stop the daughter of the Pirate King. So good. Thank you, Aunt Martha. They can't see you.
I'm eating mac and cheese.
That's nice.
Choo choo.
Oh, little stinker. That was not nice. I expect a bite to be saved for me.
There'll be one macaroni saved.
One macaroni. Sounds good. You know, you just can't win. Okay, so then it was unexpectedly harder to find an author with a last name of D and an author with a last name of M. I don't know why I struggled so hard with it this month. Actually, author with the first name of M wasn't that bad. For some reason, and I realized this as I was going through it, we've had this before. We've had author last name D. I'm almost positive. Because these have both been read in TBR videos before. So anyways, the first book I grabbed was More of Us to the West by Trinity Dunn. I have put both of these books, the next one I'm going to talk about and this one, on my potential list before, and I've talked like pretty extensively about them. So I'm not going to say too much about them, but this says, I wanted to disappear, and then I did. On a trip to reignite the spark in her marriage, Elena Grace's upgraded first-class ticket places her far from her husband and next to the notorious Jack Vollmer, a former teen actor who'd previously hung on posters in her childhood bedroom. When an unusual storm forces their plane out of the sky, her ticket will save her life and require her to question everything. Ripped from the comforts of her world and injured, Elena finds herself on an island in the middle of the Pacific, completely separated from her husband among 11 strangers. Seeking comfort in the presence of this single familiar face, Elena quickly finds herself torn between her past and her present, between two loves in two contrasting worlds. As they navigate life on the island, they uncover mystery around the storm they encountered and begin to question whether it was indeed a storm at all. In this new foreign place, as they search for signs of rescue, these strangers will find adventure, hidden secrets, and in each other family. I have heard, this is book 1 in the Adrift series, and I have heard that this is an amazing, amazing series. So even though it is a romance, it does have like kind of a very unique setting with like a plane crash and being stranded on an island, and it does have, it sounds like a little bit of a mystery element to it. So I want to get into this, but it's also intimidating because it is a brick. It is, let's see, probably like 550 pages. Oh no, almost 600 pages long. So I don't know about that. I also grabbed The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. This is the Illumicrate edition, so it is beautiful. And it says, the forest is dangerous for a luminary untrained. I've heard really good things about this book too. It says, Hemlock Falls isn't just like other towns. You won't find it on a map, your phone won't work here, and the forest outside town might just kill you. Okay, so. And this one's a little shorter too. I think this is in the 300 pages. So we have Trinity Dunn or The Luminaries. What do we have for fantasy? We have Fragile Enchantments, YA, Regency Romance, Fantasy, Olivia Wildstein, Legendborn, Firekeeper's Daughter. The Naturals. All right, guys. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to add Trinity Dunn's More of Us to the West to our TBR this month. Then I had to pick through my bookshelves and find an author with the first name of M, and this was a lot easier, so we do have some pretty good options here. The first book I grabbed was Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I have a ton of Marissa Meyer on my shelves, but for some reason this has been the one that's like calling to me. I believe this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling told through, I think your main character is the Queen of Hearts, I think. It says, Catherine may be one of the most desired girls in Wonderland and a favorite of the unmarried king, but her interests lie elsewhere. A talented baker, she wants to open a shop and create delectable pastries. But for her mother, such a goal is unthinkable for a woman who could be queen. At a royal ball where Kath is expected to receive the king's marriage proposal, she meets handsome and mysterious Jest. For the first time, she feels the pull of true attraction. At the risk of offending the king and infuriating her parents, she and Jest enter into a secret courtship. Kath is determined to choose her own destiny, but in a land thriving with magic, madness, and monsters, fate has other plans. Little like YA fairy tale retelling fantasy. Okay, this next book is another brick. So the like how big it is definitely intimidates me, but Rachel from The Raven-Haired Reader has been raving about this book lately, so I'm really intrigued by it. This is A Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rorick, I think is how you pronounce her name. And it says, owned by a ruthless assassin lord, Scarlett Monroe and her two sisters have been trained since they were children to torture and take life. They are the most feared trio on the continent, but they are also wild and unpredictable. A tragic night has Scarlett finding herself locked away in a noble's household, trapped and forgotten until she is ready to fall in line. Until the day she is presented with a job. If she completes the assignment, her payment will be something she has coveted for 10 years. Revenge against the Fae Fire Prince who brutally killed her mother. Is she willing to sacrifice her ideals for retribution? But when children begin disappearing from her home, all her plans are put on hold as she races to save the most innocent. With the help of old friends, a jilted lover, and a mysterious newcomer who claims the magic of the Fae is possible in the mortal lands, Scarlett delves into the darkest corners of the world. Forgotten secrets will come to light, and she will discover the darkness extends far beyond her own kingdom. This sounds a little bit higher fantasy than I actually thought. And like I said, it is like 520 pages. but it sounds good, and I've heard it's awesome. Okay, I told you guys if you watched my last haul that I was going to find a way to fit this book on this TBR this month because it was honestly one of my recent purchases and it is like right up my alley. It sounds like it was written for me. This is The Revenant Games by Margie Fuston, and I actually think I have 2 Margie Fustons in here. So this was in my most recent haul, and I think this is like a vampire. It said, blood is survival for 17-year-old Bly who lives in the poverty-stricken human villages caught between enemy vampire and witch kingdoms. Most of the time, vampires and witches live in an uneasy truce, buying human blood for their food and spells, but for 2 weeks a year the truce dissolves and they hold the Revenant Games. Any human can play in the games for either the witches or the vampires. The witches will raise one person from the dead for whoever captures the highest ranking vampire. The vampires offer immortality to whoever captures the most powerful witch. So it's like they each take a human tribute and there's this huge goal if you win the games. But these 2 girls that are chosen as the human tributes are going to try to both win. They're going to try to like find a loophole, right? It just, if you watch my haul, I delve more into it, but it sounds so good. Also by Margie Fuston, I grabbed Cruel Illusions. I also have, I think I have the Illumicrate or like Fairy Loot edition of this book, but I think this is YA fantasy. I love this cover. Look at how pretty that is. And that's not even the special edition. That's just like the Barnes & Noble edition, but it says, ever since a vampire murdered her mother, Ava has been determined to get revenge. This all-encompassing drive has given her the fuel she needed to survive foster home after foster home. But it's been 10 years since anyone's seen a vampire, and Ava has lost hope that she'll ever find one. Until she stumbles across a hidden magic show where she witnesses impossible illusions. The magicians may not be the bloodsuckers she's hunting, but Ava is convinced something supernatural is at play, so she sneaks backstage and catches them in the acts they can't explain. But they've been waiting for her. The magicians reveal that they're part of an ancient secret society with true magic, and Ava has the same power in her blood that they do. If she joins them, they promise to teach her the skills she needs to hunt vampires and avenge her mother. But there's a catch. If she wants to keep the power they offer, she needs to prove that she's worthy of it, and to do so, she must put on the performance of her life in a sinister and dangerous competition where illusion and reality blur and the stakes are deadly. So this actually sounds pretty similar. Another like vampire games, she has to earn her place. I also grabbed a fan cult favorite, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is the special edition that she just did, and it's annotated by Mia Sheridan. So as you read, there's going to be like her notes in it. It says, when I first, oh no, wait, that's the, I think this is her comments on it. Yeah. Okay. It says the collector's edition of Archer's Voice. Okay. When Bree Prescott arrives in the small town of Pelion, Maine, all she wants is to forget her past and everything she's left behind. But the moment she meets Archer Hale, her entire world tilts on its axis, and nothing will ever be the same again. Strange, silent, and isolated, Archer communicates with no one, yet when Bree stares into his whiskey-colored eyes, something intangible happens between them. There's so much more to Archer than his beauty, his presence, and the way his hands communicate with Bree. But the town of Pelion is mired with secrets and betrayals, and Archer is the explosive center of it all. I've wanted to read this for a really long time. Do I need another romance on my list, though? That is the question. Last but not least, I grabbed A Multitude of Dreams by Mara Rutherford. This is a YA fantasy as well, I believe. It says, the bloody plague is finally past, but what fresh horror lies in its wake? Princess Imogen of Gosland has lived a sheltered life for 3 years at the boarded-up castle. She and the rest of its inhabitants safe from the bloody Mori Roha plague that's ravaged the kingdom. But Princess Imogen has a secret, and as King Stuart descends further into madness, it's a great risk of being revealed. Rations dwindle each day, and unhappy murmurings threaten to crack the facade of the years-long charade being played within the castle walls. Nico Mott once enjoyed a comfortable life of status, but the plague took everyone and everything from him. If not for the generosity of a nearby lord, Nico may not have survived the Mori Roha's aftermath. But does owing Lord Crane his life mean he owes him his silence? When Lord Crane sends Nico to search for more plague survivors in the castle, Nico collides with a princess who wants to break out. They will each have to navigate the web of lies they've woven if they're going to survive the nightmares ahead. Once again, let's process and eliminate this. So right off the top, I am going to eliminate this stack. I am going to go ahead and eliminate Lady of Darkness just because I think it's a large book. I already have a lot of large books on my TBR this month, but also I think it's a little bit higher fantasy than I'm looking for. I just don't think this is the month for it. I'm going to eliminate A Multitude of Dreams because it's just, the synopsis just isn't catching me this month. I'm going to eliminate Archer's Voice. I actually really want to read this, but I'm just not feeling another romance this month. And I'm going to go ahead and eliminate Cruel Illusions for this month because of the 2 Margie Fuston books, The Revenant Games just sounds like it's something that I want to read this month. So those are going to go over here in our not this month pile. Which leaves these 2 books, Heartless by Marissa Myers and The Revenant Games. And I'm going to tell you right now, The Revenant Games is going up. So this is our author that begins with M, The Revenant Games by Margie Fuston. Last but finally not least, we had to pull our 2 genre spins. So we had to pick a romance and a fantasy. And I grabbed them. I'm really excited about these picks. So for our romance, I'm going to go ahead and put Daisy Hates, which is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe, on to our TBR. I am so in love with Jessa Hastings' writing. Magnolia Park was one of my top books of last year. I loved it and I've been wanting to dive back into it. And I think having our genre spin be a romance was the perfect time to do this. I'm purposely not going to read the back of this, but I do know that the first book was about Magnolia from Magnolia Parks, and this is about Daisy. And Daisy was a character in Magnolia Parks that really intrigued me because she was kind of a bitch and I want to know why. So we're going to go ahead and do Daisy Hates this month. And I hope this shocks no one, but for our fantasy poll, The Assassin's Blade is going back on our TBR this month. It was on our TBR last month and I didn't get to it, and it broke my little heart in 2 because I cannot explain to you how badly I want to get into this series. So I am going to promise you that this is going to get read this month, and I cannot wait to dive into the Throne of Glass series because I need to be back with Sarah J. Maas in one of her worlds. I'm obsessed with her writing. I'm so excited. So there it is, guys, the stack that I'm not even going to attempt to pick up because I will immediately drop them all. They're just much too large. How many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then a couple on the Kindle. So we're somewhere in the 15 arena, which is kind of where we typically end up. And I think that's a really great amount for me when I've been reading about 8 per month to kind of like give me a little bit of flexibility, but also to really give me a bunch of genres to go into. And we have a good amount of genres this month. So tell me if you guys have read any of these books, if you liked them or you didn't like them, where you would start on this stack. Because honestly, I'm thinking either The Assassin's Blade or Heartless, maybe? I don't know. Where would you start? Which one would you go for? Or which one didn't you like? So if you guys stuck around this entire time, please comment the wedding ring emoji for Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. And then go ahead and do all the fun YouTubey things that you're oh so good at. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.